So, now that we can take a breath, what lessons can be learned from this week's events? Ed Blakely is a disaster recovery expert based at the US Studies Centre who helped in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans and the Victorian Bushfires in 2009. He joins us now from Sydney. Ed, well, the question is, what lessons can we learn from this?
Well, I think we've learned some lessons from the Victorian bushfires, and those lessons were applied. A good job was done here. But there are several things that we have to consider. One, these are going to be larger fires and more of them and more frequently. And because of this, we're going to have to start thinking about measures we can do to lower the damage, like backfires, making trails and things like this, and perhaps even removing some homes from harm's way. So as we think about rebuilding, we have to start thinking about rebuilding smartly and building in places where the danger is lower.
Exactly what was learned that you saw applied in this situation? You're talking about communications?
Communications. Yeah. The communication system was much better. I think they were on top of it much faster. Remember, the delays in Victoria caused a lot of problems, as they did in Canberra. The team was on top of it very quickly and started working on it. But we did have the advantage here that the weather conditions weren't as severe as they were in Victoria.
And how did you see the backburning efforts, strategic backburning even on the hottest days?
Yes. I think we have to use strategic backburning. I know a lot of environmentalists are opposed to it, but it's the only strategy we have now that we know works.
Yeah, we mentioned Hurricane Katrina, another area of expertise for you. Is there anything that you noticed from that tragedy that could be applied in Australia?
Well, I have been involved in bushfires too in the United States. Yeah. You know, California has had many bushfires, and we've taken lessons from that. And my second experience in disasters was with the bushfire in Oakland, California. And the thing we learned most about that is what I call strategic positioning, both of our resources to fight the fire, getting in there early, and removing houses are very dangerous things, not just because the house explodes and makes the fire hotter, but the person who lives in the house has cats and dogs. They change the natural vegetation to local vegetation that they bring in foreign vegetation of various types. So we really have to think of this as a settlement pattern problem, not just a fire problem.
Yeah, and well, how do you see that into the future for Australia? It's not likely that people are going to avoid this area.
Lessons here from the Europeans, where they cluster houses closer into the village. People still have plenty of access to the woods, but you can protect the homes much better. You have better egress. You don't have 4 or 5 roads you have to protect, only 2 or 3. You can move children out and things like this. You don't have people running around because the central village is the village where the people are, and the fire is really deeply in the woods. And I think we could learn some lessons from the Europeans.
And just finally, Ed, as the summer starts early, the bushfire season has started much earlier this year with this New South Wales situation. Do you think that there's a fear of authorities over-communicating, for lack of a better word, spelling out the dangers again and again and again, and people maybe getting a bit of fatigue there?
Well, there's always a kind of an information fatigue, and people want to hide from bad news. But I think this is a community development issue where community organizations have to work with the fire brigades, have to work with the social service agencies, and bring this down to a level not just of communications in the media, but neighbor to neighbor.
Ed Blakely, fascinating to get your views, your worldly views on this issue this morning. We appreciate your time.